Wonderful. So I've been in the industry now for 18 years, but on and off. I started basically right when the internet kind of came out, so I'm like old school. I started just because, yeah. Thank you. No, yes, right. But yes, I started just because of my feet and my height. I do Amazon fetish and mostly like strength and my biggest, like I'm known mostly for my feet because I have ginormous feet. I wear a size 16 in women's shoes. And so yeah, and that's they're quite huge. Very, very, yes. They're like monkey toes. They like to grab things. But yeah, so that's what yeah, that's basically what I do. I used to be a school no no, actually, well, I got out. I've always had kind of a struggle actually with the industry. It's funny. I used to be a school teacher and then I got into just taking courses and yeah, totally right. Totally. That's what everybody says, yeah. And then and actually it's funny that you invited me on the isolation one because that was actually part of my struggle was feeling isolated and not having that support. So as I went through, so basically what happened was I've been doing the industry on and off for 18 years. I built up my following and fans and stuff for probably a good 10 years or so, and then I left and kind of disappeared. So and part of it was because of the isolation factors. So it's perfect that time. I'm sorry. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Yeah. Oh, it has. It has. Actually, that's. Well, the funny thing about that is that when I started it in the beginning, it wasn't that big of a deal, but because nobody knew and the internet was just kind of coming out. But I recently, when I went out of the business, I went back to teaching, and then that's when I found trouble because people, I'm all over the internet, like easy. So they found out, and it was not a pretty scene. So yeah, and mhm, yes, yes. It It was so for me it was pretty devastating because I love teaching. I love kids. I'm really good at teaching. But because of my past and what I did put myself out there on the internet as, it wasn't pretty. And for me it was basically harassment. Some of the teachers had found out, and then they were joking about like, oh, I remember one time in a staff meeting they said, what would your disciplinary things be? And they said, well, we know what hers would be. She'd tie the kids to a tree with her whips and chains. And yeah, it, yeah, 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 exactly. That's, yeah, 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 right? Exactly, exactly, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's, yes, it, mm-hmm, 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 yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. What was, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you very well, Shelley. That's okay. No. Absolutely not. None of them did. And that's where I kind of was like, have some respect. And I actually approached them and said, is there a problem here? But no one wanted to address it. So for me, I mean, I've seen a lot in life, and I know that people are fearful of that, or it's that repressed